He blew the whistle on animal cruelty in Bridgeport, but tonight he says he needs help to care for his dog. Only on 12, a local disabled veteran facing homelessness now has a place to live. And it's Cinco de Mayo. Celebrations happening across our area, some with a twist. I'm Nick Medanis. You're watching News 12 Connecticut. Those stories ahead, but first, a look at our community camera in Easton, where you see it's still gray. We had rain today, and meteorologist Michelle Powers, we got some rain tonight, too.
Yes, there is more on the way, so the roads will continue to stay on the wet side, and the rain that's actually coming in will be a little steadier than what we're seeing right now. So be prepared for a wet evening ahead of us. So we will add to the rain that we saw earlier today. So by the time we get through tonight, there will be a few areas that reach an inch or more. But so far, over a ½ inch of rain in Danbury, as well as Milford and Westport, Bridgeport and Fairfield. Oh, you're right there as well. Temperatures now for the evening are chilly. We've been holding all day long in those 50s, and we cool off a little bit more later tonight after the rain exits, but winds are coming out of the northeast. Here's a look at the latest looping radar. Again, filling back in. We have a couple of holes, but the rain picks up because there's another batch off to our south and our west. All of this has to move through before we see some improvement. The rundown for tonight featuring temperatures holding in those 50s right now. Rain showers will be with us right through the rest of the evening, and this will gradually lift out past midnight. Now, overnight into those pre-dawn hours, we will see some breaks in the sky, and we do have some sunshine on the way for tomorrow. It's just the short term right now. Think umbrellas and rain jackets. I'll have much more on that forecast coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. The whistleblower in a Bridgeport animal cruelty case launches a fundraiser to pay for his dog's medical bills. Jose Valentin says his 1-year-old pit bull almost died after unnecessary surgery in February. He took the dog to Black Rock Animal Hospital, where he says Dr. Amir Wasfi treated him. Part of those animal cruelty charges, as you saw first on News 12 Connecticut, police arrested Wasfi this week. Valentin says he was proud to be the whistleblower in the case, but now he needs help with those bills. He says his dog is still very sick.
He's always like moaning, it's hard for him to get up. Sometimes I gotta pick him up to walk him outside, pick him up to bring him back inside. He gotta go through weekly visits, he's going through a lot. It's gonna be a long recovery, a long road ahead of us before he recovers 100%.
If you want to help with that fundraiser, we have information on our website. Wasfi is free on $10,000 bond. Lawyers for a former Yale basketball captain expelled over sexual misconduct allegations are preparing for a possible settlement with the school. A conference at a federal court in Bridgeport set for Tuesday. Jack Montague is seeking monetary damages. He was thrown out of school in 2016 after a woman testified before a Yale committee about an incident 2 years earlier. She says a sexual encounter with a player, not consensual. He denies that. No criminal charges were ever brought. In Norwalk, police are investigating an accident that left a pedestrian hurt. It happened just after 3 this morning on North Main Street. Police say the victim was lying in the road. That victim sent to the hospital. The driver left the scene, but later contacted police and we're told is cooperating now. Anyone who saw the accident is asked to call Norwalk police. A disabled veteran who was about to be homeless is thanking News 12 Connecticut tonight for helping him avoid that nightmare. Frank Recchia following the story for weeks and has the update.
I was losing everything. My whole world was just coming apart.
59-year-old Ezra Priest, who is disabled, says it's incredible to think that only a couple of weeks ago he was on the verge of becoming homeless.
Ezra Priest was in danger of being on the streets.
But today he was welcomed here at Homes for the Brave in Bridgeport, a shelter for homeless veterans where he will be living until he gets permanent housing.
It's just like a blanket just being wrapped around, and I know I'm safe because the veterans here are like me.
The Marine Corps veteran had been staying with friends but could no longer do so. He was weak from a series of illnesses.
I had a stroke, had 2 aneurysms.
And no shelter would take him in due to his condition. His doctor said he was too frail to survive on the streets, and that is when Priest contacted us.
I give my thanks to Frank Recchia, News 12.
We put him in touch with Senator Richard Blumenthal, who worked with Executive Director Vince Santilli and the VA to get this proud vet a spot here.
Ezra Priest was literally on the verge of homelessness and heartbreak when News 12 and Frank Recchia brought him to our attention, and Homes for the Brave answered the call.
The turnaround time here was really amazing because you were on the verge of becoming homeless, and then all of a sudden you're here at Homes for the Brave and things are going really well.
Yes. It feels great to have a gentleman that's not out in the rain right now and instead is safe, sheltered, and has access to all the things we offer here at Homes for the Brave.
I have big hopes.
Hopes for a future with permanent housing. But in the meantime, this proud Marine says he is thankful to be surrounded by people who care. He says he reached out for help and was not ignored. That, he says, is consistent with the tradition of the Corps.
I gave myself up freely, and this is what I'm getting back in return.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12, Connecticut.
Blumenthal thanked the VA for working quickly to help Priest get into Homes for the Brave. For 60 years now, dozens of disabled and recovering veterans get to connect outside hospitals or nursing homes with food, fun, and music. News 12 Connecticut's Nina Kapoor takes us to Milford.
Though the men and women in this room may come from different parts of the country and have different backgrounds or views, they have one major thing in common.
To give honor to our VA hospitals and veterans who have sacrificed so much for our country.
They all made the ultimate sacrifice. Sunday, they were recognized for just that, while getting a little spoiled as well.
I've been coming here about 5 years, and each time I come, it's fantastic.
The VFW bussed 150 disabled and recovering military veterans from VA hospitals in West Haven, Rocky Hill, and others across the state to Milford for an afternoon of food, music, and entertainment.
Have a great time. Dinner, meet friends, great hostess. Everything is good about it.
Bobby has been coming for years now. He says his favorite part is the gifts they receive before leaving that usually include books, toiletries, and food. But organizers hope they also walk away feeling refreshed, appreciated, and well connected with fellow vets from around the country.
Some of them come year after year. They're in the nursing home unit at West Haven or they're in transition. And you could ask them. What I think they'll tell you is that they just want a day out of the hospital.
My favorite part is being amongst other people who've been through the same thing I've been through and people who are trying to help us.
In Milford, Nina Kapoor, News 12 Connecticut.
The buses and handicap accessible vans, the food donated by sponsors. State officials will hold a tribute to the late former Governor Ella Grasso on what would have been her 100th birthday. The Connecticut native was the first female governor elected who had not been married to a former governor. She also went on to serve as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. A ceremony is set for this Friday morning in the state Capitol building. Crews in New Haven are investigating a deadly house fire that broke out early this morning on West Street. The fire department says 16 people were in the building, 2 people killed. Officials say 3 jumped to escape, and 3 firefighters were treated for injuries. The cause of the fire is under investigation tonight. Norwalk police investigate a stabbing at a fast food restaurant on Belden Avenue. It happened just after 7 last night. Officers say a woman had a stab wound to the leg. She is expected to be okay. The search is on, though, for the suspect. And also in Norwalk, a suspected drunken driver hit an officer this morning while trying to flee a traffic stop. It happened shortly after midnight on Main Street when the officer apparently saw the driver, Terrence Parker, run a red light. The officer says Parker's license was suspended and he smelled of alcohol. Police say Parker became belligerent when the officer told him the car would be towed. Parker allegedly hit the gas and hit the cop, knocking him down. He was caught in Bridgeport and is now facing charges. A Russian plane catches fire and makes an emergency landing, killing at least 41 people on board. You can see it engulfed. There were 78 people on the flight, operated by Russian flagship Aeroflot. Investigators say the plane returned to the airport because of unspecified problems. And officials in Florida are trying to keep fuel from spilling into the water after that jet went off a runway. Engineers using a vacuum skimmer to remove contaminants that might be coming from the plane. All passengers safe after that crash, but nearly 24 people treated for minor injuries. President Trump says special counsel Robert Mueller should not testify before Congress. Mr. Trump moving away from his previous declaration that he would leave it up to his attorney general. The president escalating tensions with House Democrats as they seek to bring Mueller before the Judiciary Committee. Democrats want more information about Mueller's report on the Russia investigation. He is scheduled to testify May 15th. The president also announcing his pick today to head the Office of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, former U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mark Morgan. He had that role for a few months. The president tweeting the news. Morgan is a vocal proponent of the president's plan to build a wall. Morgan resigned from Office of Border Patrol in January 2017. North Korean state media showing Kim Jong-un observing live fire drills of long-range rocket launchers and what appear to be new short-range ballistic missiles. South Korea has expressed concern the launches are in violation of an agreement to stop all hostile attacks. That North's state media saying Kim expressed, quote, great satisfaction over the drills. A new spin on Cinco de Mayo. We show you how a local church is celebrating today. Honoring Cinco de Mayo with a Greek twist in Bridgeport. Here it's Cinco de Gyro, and it has a wide array of Greek specialties. The fundraiser at Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church does aim to build awareness about this date in history. They say the parish is culturally diverse and welcomes the chance to celebrate holidays that are not traditionally Greek.
It's a great event. It's authentic gyros, authentic chicken gyros, pork gyros, kodosouvlis, and we have some baklava sundaes here, and it's to support the church. We have a great community here, and we're just looking for support from the community.
Hundreds showing up to the event even with the rain. Though it may not have been the ideal weather, the party goes on at Stepping Stones Museum for Children in Norwalk. It's for Cinco de Mayo, the family-friendly fun featuring storytelling and salsa dancing and hula hoops too. It's to expose young children to other cultures.
Part of our mission here at Stepping Stones is to help develop lifelong learners and enhance children's understanding of the world. So the more that we can expose children to that at a young age, the more context they'll have to build upon as they grow and learn.
Kids made decorative folk art and learned about the Mayan calendar. And a good day to be celebrating Cinco de Mayo inside. Meteorologist Michelle Powers. Kind of a messy day today.
Yeah, not so great from start to finish. But you know, we have days like these occasionally. The rest of the week there are some rain chances, but it doesn't look like today. At least, yes. Going forward, we have more rain coming into Weston, so we caught a little bit of a break, but the rain will pick up now for the rest of the evening and basically all throughout western Connecticut. We may also deal with some flooding too from the rain and also from our tides. High tide happens just after midnight here, so National Weather Service has issued a coastal flood advisory that goes up at midnight just along southern Fairfield County. We could be looking at tides running about a foot to a foot and a half above average. So keep that in mind. If you are near a low-lying coastal area, you may see some water come in later tonight. Water will continue to fall from the sky as the clouds and the rain today kept our temperatures down along with the wind direction. Only 54 in Bridgeport. 64 is where we should be for this time of year. No worries, because we quickly get back on track starting tomorrow. It's just tonight there's more rain coming in for the evening. It tapers overnight, and then we have gradual clearing. Winds continue out of the northeast 5 to about 15 miles an hour. So the winds making it feel even cooler too. Rain chances really pick up between about 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock tonight. That's where we are at a 90%. past that point, the showers will taper and the sky gradually clears for the rest of the night. So getting up tomorrow, a much different picture, a cooler start, but look at what happens tomorrow afternoon. In Stamford, temperatures take a dip tonight, but they rise tomorrow. We are back into those 60s. It's just we're dealing with this area of low pressure for the next few hours. That will quickly move out overnight as high pressure builds in for tomorrow. So tomorrow looks like a dry day for us, but Tuesday we have more changes. This blue line, this cold front comes through, and that may bring a few showers or maybe some thunderstorms. I'll have that full 7-day forecast up next. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Connecticut's Lemon Law program is being credited with providing consumers more than $2.5 million in refunds last year. Officials say it's an increase of more than the $300,000 from the year before. The Department of Consumer Protection processed 81 cases, it says, in 2018. All new car dealers in the state are required to post Lemon Law information in their service departments and provide buyers with the information at the time of sale. YouTube has 2 billion monthly users, and many of them are now watching on TV screens. The Google-owned video platform says people are watching over 250 million hours of YouTube content a day on their TVs. Viewership on TV screens is up almost 40% from last year. Uber and Lyft may be rivals on the road, but their drivers are teaming up to strike. The New York Taxi Worker Alliance represents rideshare drivers, and the New York City taxi drivers say they're fighting for better wages, job security, and stabilized fares. Other strikes are expected across the country come Wednesday. President Trump planning to place more tariffs on goods imported to the U.S. from China. The president saying on Twitter today $325 billion of Chinese goods will be taxed at 25%. He says the current 10% tariff will be increased to 25% this week. It comes 2 months after he warned U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods were unlikely to go away, even if a trade deal is reached. A new report finds millions of people are putting their personal information at risk because of weak passwords. News 12's Walt Kane tells us how to stay strong in this week's Consumer Alert.
Are you protecting yourself against hackers? Millions of people apparently are not. The National Cybersecurity Center in London analyzed passwords from hacked accounts. 23 million people used, no kidding, 123456. 3 million people used QWERTY, the first 6 letters on a keyboard, while another 3 million actually used password. Cybersecurity experts say the real numbers are probably higher, since people who use weak passwords often use them more than once.
And because so many people have a tendency to reuse the same logon information throughout their entire universe of websites and accounts, you could be giving someone not just the key to whatever you're doing that day, but you could basically be handing them the house, the barn, the farm.
Hopefully you're not using anything that weak, but these days there's no reason to repeat any password. Having a unique, long and strong password for each account is simple. Password managers like LastPass, OnePass, or Keeper store passwords in encrypted files. Most will then generate unique passwords for each account. To unlock them, you only need to remember your main password. So be sure to protect that one with two-factor authentication, so you can't log in without a temporary code that's sent to your phone. And that's your Consumer Alert. I'm Walt Kane.
Locals call it a landmark, a Fairfield business celebrating a major milestone today. A Fairfield restaurant celebrating more than 40 years in business. Mancuso's on Kings Highway East marking the occasion by offering specials for its 43rd birthday. Local politicians acknowledging the milestone by calling the Southern Italian restaurant a local landmark revered for its authentic home cooking. The husband and wife owners say this day helps them share the rich history of their business.
We feel very proud. I grew up in Fairfield. We have served Fairfield. We have seen our customers grow, their children bring their children. We've been serving generations of Fairfield and local residents.
And those owners say their menu is based on family recipes passed down for generations. Students in Litchfield spent part of their weekend helping animals. Fourth graders from Litchfield Intermediate School raising over $1,300 at a bake sale yesterday. The students, driven by their love of animals, to raise money for the Little Guild. The Cornwall-based nonprofit helps cats and dogs find homes and provides reduced cost spay and neuter services.
Well, we are looking at more rain for tonight. This will basically be round 2, so the rain picks up. Temperatures will hold in those 50s. So it's a soggy evening for us, at least through about midnight. Beyond that point, we're looking at a mostly cloudy sky, and this is when temperatures start to cool. So the morning will feature some 40s, near 50 degrees, and some sunshine finally. Tomorrow looks to be much warmer than today because we have that sun. There will be a few clouds developing late in the day, as you can see there, but at least we are dry. Now, this upcoming week will feature more shower chances. There's a risk starting again on Tuesday with the passage of a cold front, but a greater chance of looking at more rain. Soggy end to the week, Thursday and Friday. And you'll see that here in your 7-day forecast. Temperatures even warmer on Tuesday, a little cooler through the middle of the week. Looking ahead to next weekend, Mother's Day may feature a few showers. That's your hyperlocal forecast.
Michelle, thank you. You're watching News 12 Connecticut, as local news gets. Stay with us. Your top story is coming up right after this.